Okay. Hello, everyone.
I can just check that you can all hear us. If you can, if you put a thumbs up, there's a little icon on the top of the screen that says hand up, and you can just click on that just so we can check that the sound is working okay. Hopefully it is. Karen, you have to cook with you as well. Okay, so there's some extra. So this is the first webinar of a series of webinars that are coming your way. And some of the other webinars you might want to look into include, Shirley?
Yes, I'm doing the first one today, obviously, and next week we have got sensory stories for learners with complex needs, which Pete Wells is going to do. I think that's going to be a really good session. And I think the following week we're back on to another one which should be useful for learners with literacy difficulties, and that's Andrew Campbell from Tech Help, who's going to be going over some of the good features of their literacy support software.
Okay. So, as normal, Shirley will do about 20 minutes and then we'll stop for questions. So, in the meantime, and if you do have any questions, just pop them into the text box below. And I should also mention that there's some links to the session just here. Hopefully you can see me moving at the back, so they're clickable links, so if you just click onto the links. The session is being recorded and it will be archived as well, but all of your names here will be anonymised and we'll actually see your names, so any data will be private. So I think I'll just pass over to Shirley and to meet you all. Okay, Shirley, so this is our session on creating an inclusive learning environment with technology for students with ASN.
Good. Thanks, Chris. And the original idea behind pitching this webinar to ASN was there's often not enough training and information provided during the initial teacher education or post-grad programs on what's possible with assistive technology and how it could be and should be embedded into your classroom if you're truly to provide a fully inclusive environment. I was asked to do a 1-hour workshop back in June here at Murray House at the end of the PGDE primary year on how technology could support pupils with ASN. And it was quite interesting because even showing some basic assistive technology had the students asking, why don't we know this, or why are we not seeing this happening in the schools we've been doing our placements in? And it's true, despite there being a lot of technology out there that can be really helpful, there is a lot that is not happening. And don't worry, it's not just new teachers that are sometimes unaware of what's possible, it's everyone. And us too, you know, we're always learning new things all the time. So it's really today, in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about and demo what we covered in that workshop to the PGDE students. And the feedback was that it had been really helpful and there were things they could immediately put into practice. So, okay, enough chat. Let's get looking at some useful inclusive digital technologies which complement a universal design for learning approach. Just going to put up a slide here, the universal design for learning. It's a way to optimize teaching to effectively instruct a diverse group of learners. It benefits all learners, not just those with additional support needs. It's flexible in how students access material, engage with it and show what they know. And there's many ways that technology can be used to follow the principles of universal design for learning. If we just look at the graphic there and we look at the next steps after the one that says identify potential barriers to learning and well-being, we need to identify universal support, things that are available to everyone to support their learning. And that's really what we're going to look at today. So what I'm going to do with start doing is I'm going to share my screen and immediately go on and demo some software and some tools that are available within Office 365.
I should mention that if you're a teacher in Scotland, you have access to Office 365 through Go, yeah?
Absolutely, yes. So this is what I'm now in. I'm now on Office 365. I'm using PowerPoint online there. So imagine you're presenting information in a whole class teaching setting using PowerPoint slides, say on an interactive whiteboard. Does this suit all your learners? What about those with processing difficulties who can't take in all the information? What about pupils with visual impairment who can't see the board? What about pupils with English as additional language who need additional language support? what can you do to make your teaching inclusive? When resources are in digital format, they can be easily shared in advance with pupils who may need more time to process the information, and for those who may need to view them on their own personal device in an appropriate size for their vision. So always, wherever possible, have your resources in a digital format as opposed to paper, which can't be modified in the same way. So for someone with a hearing impairment who's not able to lip read or can't always see your mouth as you speak with your teacher and walking around the classroom, you could switch on the inbuilt closed caption in PowerPoint, which really are great. I'm going to show you what that looks like here. So here's my PowerPoint here. You'll see up here I've got the chance to always use subtitles. So just clicking onto the slide there, and all I have to do is play from the current slide, click through to the next slide. So we've got thinking of somebody who's perhaps got a hearing impairment and we're needing to use the closed caption. So I've got a microphone, USB mic in here, and I'm just going to click on the little icon at the bottom here which says use subtitles. So if I click on there, closed captions uses inbuilt speech recognition. It can be a really quick and easy solution to meet the needs of many learners with additional support needs. This is how you create a fully inclusive classroom environment. And it's all free. And then I'm just clicking off so I can get back to the PowerPoint there. So you can see how really useful that could be if you're able to then just, in your regular use of PowerPoint, then you're going to be able to use the closed caption. And for the pupils in your class who perhaps have English as additional language, there's another feature you can use. If I go back to the PowerPoint here, back to the settings here, and in this bit here which always use subtitles, if I just click on the drop down there, you can see not only can I choose where in the slide the closed caption appears, but I've got the spoken language, so I'm speaking English UK, but the subtitle language, I've got this huge selection of different languages. So say for example, I'll go back to the slide there. I'm going to play from the current slide. Now when I switch on my closed captions and start speaking, I have no idea now if this is an exact translation, as I don't speak Croatian, but it's a very helpful feature for teachers to know about to support those with English as an additional language. And click off again.
I have to say my Croatian is very good, but it looks pretty good to me. It reminds me of the Star Trek International Translator that we used to have. It's like that, you know,
Yes.
just spoken it, translated it. For
So,
any Star Trek fans out there.
yeah, so many different languages that you can do, you can translate that, what you're saying into. So just a really another useful feature which is readily available in PowerPoint online to be able to use. There's also closed caption in Google Slides too. I mean, generally the tools that we're talking about, it doesn't matter what platform you're using, you'll have the ability to do the things I'm demoing today. So I'm just going to move out of PowerPoint here, and I'm going to look at another really useful feature, and it's going to be using within Word. So I'm just starting a new blank document. I'm thinking of dyslexic pupils who find it difficult to engage with the writing process and often produce an amount of text that does not reflect their cognitive ability. So speech recognition, as used in the closed caption example, can be used within Word using this dictate feature. So you'll see it over here. You have the ability here to click on the microphone and start speaking, and then so instead of typing, I'm just going to have the text appear on the screen here. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. You try and change the font size. I know previously when I tried it, although it looks like in the 24 it was actually typing quite small, but you can change that again. So let's click on the dictate. Again, I've got my microphone, USB mic on my often reluctant to write big words that I can't spell, as I don't like to make mistakes, so I just choose easier ones. I like speech recognition to write my stories, and I can write lots quickly and easily. And it would help if I switched off the microphone there. You can see as I started to make the text bigger here, it started to write it down there. So it shows you how responsive it is. Very important that you always remember to switch it off. So it's just a click on, click off. So just make that a little bit bigger for everyone to see. And you can see the other feature of that. You do need to add in punctuation. So I really would be wanting, if my learner was going to be using speech recognition, we would be wanting them to encourage them to be putting in full stops and actually saying the word full stop. But for just now, just to get some text down there, you can see that all the words are spelled correctly as they always do in speech recognition. I may have a difficulty with writing. Chances are I might have difficulty knowing what I've actually put down on paper there on the screen, so I would want some way of having that read back to me. So again, an inbuilt feature we're going to show you here is just clicking on the View tab here, and I'm going to go to the one that's called Immersive Reader. So this will give me text-to-speech to allow the learner to listen to the own text. So, put it here, what's also done is made it a really nice, clear interface to be able to see the words nice and clearly. I think I've obviously previously changed the background so it's yellow. You've got various choices on doing that. So going down to the bottom here and clicking on the play button, I'm now going to listen to what I spoke out, spoken back to me.
I am often reluctant to write big words that I can't spell, as I don't like to make mistakes, so I just choose easier ones. I like speech recognition to write my stories, and I can write lots quickly and easily.
Okay, so reading out there, highlighting as it goes along, that is absolutely the best kind of text-to-speech you can use, because you've got what's called dual modality, where you're actually seeing and hearing, you're using two senses, and that really helps with the learning of the words. So really good feature there. Other features you've got within your learning tools there, if I click on the text preference, this is where I can change the size, the font. My background colour here was chosen to be yellow, but it might be better. Somebody might prefer an aqua colour, so you can just personalise the settings there. Within the grammar options, you can switch on the syllables, so you're breaking the words up into different syllables. And for some dyslexic readers, this makes a huge help when they're actually listening to the text to have the words split up into syllables. So I've got the option to toggle that one on and off. Or identify different parts of speech, so that might be good for a sort of whole class teaching lesson. But this one at the end, the reading preferences, or click on the book, and in terms of, you've got a nice clear interface there, but you might need, somebody might require extra focus when they're having the text read back. So if I switch on line focus and just press play, go back to here, go back up a couple of lines and just click on
Recognition to write my stories, and I can write lots quickly and easily.
So I've got that one line at a time. You might decide that actually I want just a few lines at a time, so not the whole text appearing, but just a few lines. So a couple of options there you've got. The picture dictionary is a really good one, and a good one for those with early literacy level, or perhaps English as an additional language, because they're actually able to click on the words and have some sort of symbol support there. So not only can they listen to the word, but they've got the symbol support, so they're able to click on and just have some, so that could be really useful just to reinforce. They can hear the word, but they might require that additional level of support. So that's using BoardMaker symbols. And again, this is a free feature. You're not requiring BoardMaker software in order to that work, but you are requiring to be online in order to have that working properly. Other features here, and we've talked about English and additional language. I do have the chance here, so if I still picture that I have my pupil from Croatia, I can hopefully click down and find the Croatian. So I'm now translating by word. So when I'm clicking on a word here, I've got the English word, but I've also got the Croatian word, which I can listen to.
Right.
Okay, and the symbol support. So lots of really, really good features there. The other one I'm going to show you using Office 365 is really helpful for students who need help with organisation. So this is using OneNote. So OneNote Digital Jotter. I'm going to click on here and I've set one up a student's notebook. So you'll see what this looks like here. If you're not familiar with OneNote, it's something definitely to explore. Again, it's a free feature appearing in Microsoft Office. So this pretty much diagram explains what it's like. So you've got set it up with different sections for different curricular areas, and within each section you put different pages. So lots of really useful things that you can useful thing to be able to use for your organisation, because you can use it on any type of device as long as you're logged into your Office 365 account. So it means you can be doing work at school, taking notes, adding in homework, and going home and logging in at home on a different device and being able to access the same information. So no requirement to transfer information on a USB or to email it yourself. So it really takes away that level of anxiety of having your work in lots of different places, all one place to have your work there. And the other good thing is if I click on the homework page that I've set up, so I have the chance to, using the tags, I've got some really useful tags there. You can see I can use any number of these to indicate for reminders and things I want to do. So you can see I've put in some here which just indicates some homework I need to do. But because I have, this is my personal student notebook, but I've gone up here to the top right and share icon. So I'm going to now share this with teacher. So the teacher has now got access to student's notebook and therefore has been able to add that comment in at the bottom. So really, really useful for adding in comments, for being able to provide support remotely and for formative feedback. So these are all some of the freely available tools within Office 365 which can support pupils with additional support needs, whether they're at home, whether they're at school, whether they're on the bus, as long as they are able to log into their account. So as I would say, it's important as a new teacher, or if you're just not familiar with them, learn how to use them, model using them daily in the class, and check that the pupils know exactly what to do, because sometimes you can talk about it, you can model it, and some pupils perhaps with slightly slower at processing information will have a rough idea but don't really know how to use it properly, and therefore the benefit is not seen because we just need that little bit extra support. So it's not just about having the technology and the software, it still probably needs some support from yourself or someone else to make sure that they are being able to use it properly. So at this point I am just going to swap over from mirroring up my laptop screen, and I'm just going to show you a quick couple of features on the iPad. iPad's very popular in use, and some of the features similar to what we've been showing you. That again at this NQT session, the PGDE session I ran in June, the students weren't aware of. So I just really want to reinforce some of the really good features that are there on the iPad to use to support people with additional support needs. So I'm going to mirror that up.
If you could just stop sharing the screen, Shirley.
Okay, trying to.
So what? We'll go back to this one. And find it. Okay, right.
everything okay? So this is my iPad here, and I'm doing a bit of research on the kelpies, and I'm asking my pupils to have a look too, and they've come to this website, and you can see there's lots of information on the website, but lots of sidebars and quotes in boxes, and perhaps a little bit cluttered in terms of for somebody perhaps with dyslexia who finds that all a bit much to read. So I'm going to advise and point out that in the top URL box in your address bar at the top, in the left-hand corner, you've got 4 lines. Now this is for a Safari reader view, so you can see what it looks like just now, but you can also, what I'm going to do is when I tap on that, how it very nicely clears out the page into so it'll be given very much easier to read. I've got options there at the top, clicking on the A to change the size of the font, and also the background colour of the page there, knowing that black text on white background is sort of the worst possibility. So this sepia colour's quite a nice one to use. So now when I have my web page, it's much easier to read, assuming you don't have reading difficulties. If you do, what could you use in order to have that text read out? So similar to using Immersive Reader when we were using when we were in Office 365, it's something that's going to read the text that's appearing on the screen to have it spoken out to you. This is inbuilt in the iPad, and it's called Speak Screen. There's 2 different things you can do. You can have the whole screen read out to you, or you can just have the speak selection. So I'm going to demo how to activate Speak Screen, and it involves initially switching it on in settings, which is a one-off thing to do, because once it's on, it's there. And now all I have to do, and you'll not see my fingers appear on the screen here, but what I'm doing is I'm swiping down from the top of the screen from 2 fingers, or more like a flick. And that's reading out on
possessing the strength and endurance of 10 horses. A quality that...
So I've got this little box that I can put anywhere on the screen. It's such a great feature. As I say, it's inbuilt, and I'm able to speed the voice up, slow it down, depending on what's required, and I can have that read out. So ideally, people sitting there with headphones on, and nobody needs to know whether they're reading it or whether they're listening to it. They've got that ability to speak, have it spoken out to them. If perhaps they don't need the whole thing read out to them and activating Speak Screen, then they can simply put their finger down on one word or drag it out to a phrase, and then they've got the option to click on the Speak option. And that's now reading out from my iPad here. So you've got Speak Screen and Speak Selection. And the really good thing is, if I go to Notes, we talked about having within when we were using Office 365 and in Word, I was clicking on Dictate to have the speech recognition. Well, speech recognition is again inbuilt in the iPad, and if you look at the bottom of the keyboard where the space bar is, just to the left, I've got a little microphone. So what I can do is just click on there to speak. I'm doing a project about the kelpies. Andy Scott is the sculptor who designed the huge metal horse head. Okay, so, and that's picked up what I wanted to say. So again, really useful when I'm able to have this now here to use speech recognition within Notes. But I might also think, well actually, I'm really wanting to write some notes that have my website with the information on the kelpies as well. So I'm just going to flick up slightly from the bottom of the screen there. The icon coming up there. The one I wanted, the Safari one with the compass. I'm going to flick up there. I'm just holding on it, drag it up, and I'm going to sort of dock it to the right there. So now you can see I've got, I can put it out the middle, I've got my notes I'm writing on the left hand side, and I've got the website on the right hand side. But the good feature is if I flick down from the left side of the screen, I'm going to be able to have my notes read out.
project about the Kelpie Randy Scott is the sculptor who designed the huge metal horse heads.
Okay, so that's my check to see what I've written is what I meant to write. But then clicking on the right hand side, I can go back to listening to the website.
From Randy Scott's vision to a stunning reality.
Okay, so that's really good for productivity there, to have that split screen and have the text-to-speech available for both. So that's some of the features I'm seeing already, and I knew this would happen. We'd start running out of time, and I want to keep saying, and there's another thing, and there's another thing. There's, really is absolutely tons. And one of the web links on the front page, which is the technology to support pupils with dyslexia, will have all this information, and also in our infographics and downloaded posters, how to use the iPad to support learners with reading and writing difficulties. It's all there, so I'm not going to go on to anything else at the moment, apart from maybe just to say demoing using the OneNote on the laptop. I've now come home. I'm now going to my OneNote on the iPad here, and you'll see that we've got exactly this information. Now we seem to have dropped so just basically to say that I'm now just demonstrating how to use the OneNote. I was using it, say, on the laptop when I was talking about the homework and sharing it with the teacher at school, but I've now come home, I've picked up my iPad, and I've now got exactly the same information in the same notebook on the platform here. So very good for helping with organisation, but also having the supportive tools. And you can see I've also got immersive reader there, and that would give me the chance to have the text spoken out in the same way as it did with the laptop. Right, so at that point I'm now going to go back to the main laptop and just wind up really on what we've been talking about.
But I think what it demonstrates is actually just how good these built-in tools are. You don't need to spend a lot of money, do you? Big expensive programs.
No, and that's really what I want to demonstrate, because there's one thing about learning about something new, learning about inclusive digital technology, that you don't want to put up any barriers thinking, well, I can't do that, we don't have the technology in school, we don't have this. It's all there, and that's the things that we want to show people, that the most simplest things like text-to-speech is available on whatever device you're using, and tends to be part of the inbuilt functionality. Getting better all the time, definitely. It's exciting. So just really want to run through this, because this is what we're talking about, universal design for learning principles. And we've looked at the multiple means of representation. We're providing information in more than one format. So for example, the PowerPoint with the different closed caption option. In terms of multiple means of action and expression, we're offering alternatives to writing or word processing, as I showed when we were using the speech or the voice recognition, just making that task that little bit easier for somebody with a literacy difficulty. And in terms of thinking of multiple means of engagement, the question is, how are you motivating your pupils? And technology is hugely motivating and engaging, and it has the additional benefit of providing assistive features to those who need it, such as we talked about text-to-speech, speech recognition, predictive text and spell checking. We didn't show it, but we've got screen masking, so you can put a mask over your computer screen. Display accommodations is the one you would use on the iPad, just giving you that's supportive in terms of to support your reading. And then in terms of organisation, the OneNote digital jotter. So it's our job here at CALL to raise awareness of what's possible with assistive technology by providing this kind of information via webinar, or we provide training and support. And really, just to say, we're here at any point for you in your NQT year, or if you're not an NQT, we're definitely here for you. And please just get in touch and we can support the people the best you can in any way.
Okay, thanks, Shirley. That was very interesting. So this is a chance for you to ask any questions. If you do have any questions for Shirley, we've still got another 5 minutes. Just pop them into the text box, and Shirley will go answer them. the archive is used for these are still active as well, so you can actually still come in and click those links and get them from if you contact them. Okay.
And you, I mean, until if we don't have any other questions, just you've found a lot of really good, useful features on the Windows 10 new accessibility features.
Yeah, fantastic features really with these new. Sorry, Val, not a question but a comment. So well, right, Val is voice typing in G Suite is very good. Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yes, absolutely. And as I say, there's none of these the online speech recognition, whether it's voice typing or the dictation within Word, require any training. I mean, you're really just going for it, and it doesn't say that it will work for absolutely everyone, because my diction's pretty good and I'm pacing how I'm saying it, but for somebody who might not get anything down in paper, it can be a tremendous confidence boost to let them have a go with speech recognition and see how they get on.
Mary's been teaching secondary English 7 years. English secondary 7 years. This is all new. Oh, good. That's great.
That's great to hear, Mary.
In OneNote, can you share different pages with specific teachers?
You can password protect pages, so it tends to be the way of doing it is actually to share the whole notebook. Of which the pupil could then keep some sections private with, and the teacher would only get access to some pages. But Sarah, if you want to drop us an email, I can send you some information on that.
Sure. We do have information somewhere, but I don't know.
Yes.
So if you could drop Shirley click on that link.
And the other thing for teachers, they might want to set up a OneNote class notebook where you're then adding all your pupils in a class to one notebook that everyone's shared. So that's a good way of keeping all your resources together and sending out assignments, getting work back in, working collaboratively. Pupils can work collaboratively on the same document.
Mm-hmm. Nice comment from Kay. Thank you. That was brilliant. I'll actually just pop up something. Have you had, let's see, I'll tell you what, I'll do it.
Any written documents to train the iPad? We've got a very good, if it's covering the things that I did on the iPad, Mary, yes, we do have, well, we've certainly got a very nice post to download which covers the key features within the iPad that you can use to support learners with literacy difficulties.
Just trying to get Kay's question, because I think it was yeah, thank you. That was brilliant. Have you had any experience of working with parents peers with young people? Certainly been in schools with people. Any teachers, pals, or something who are here today who maybe used to work with their pupils?
We do get quite a lot of inquiries from parents and carers just about what's possible.
Send this link to actually the link there. And then if you just look for the immersive reading tools when you come to that link under leaflets.
I do agree with Val, sometimes when we feel ourselves that, we have all this information and we try to get it out to people via our website, via the blog, newsletters, out in schools, speaking at conferences and doing presentations, and we feel, that the word is out there, but quite often we don't go into school or go somewhere and people are not knowing about it. So, we do understand the workload of a teacher and there's so much to learn in so many different areas. But hopefully, technology can be seen as such an important feature to understand and to have in place for your pupils with additional support needs, because it really can be game changing.
Okay, so we're kind of almost out of time. Yeah, great teachers at home. Would be good with PPT again. Anyway, I'd like to say thank you to Sue, to Kay, to Karen, and to Claire. Claire, Maybe back thumbs up. Is it the same Cliff Cooper who's on our IDD course? Hello, Claire. To Ela, and to Jane, Karen, and well, everyone really for attending today. Thanks for listening. Just remember, this is the start of a new schedule of webinars. Some equally not as good, but equally as good coming along the way. Okay.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks, everyone. Good luck this year.
Thank you. Bye.